All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Design You podcast. Today I am live on Instagram as well as this will be on YouTube. And if you do want to watch it later, you can. I would suggest going to the YouTube because I do have a shared screen that is going to show you the human design body graph so that you can kind of work with it. Today, we're really going to be going over the strategy and authority. So it's really important in human design to understand your energy type and your strategy and your authority. Those are the three key things to really understand to move in life the way you want to and to get the things that you want. So I really wanted to just dive deep into these core ideas for you guys. Sorry, my cat was like scratching. So I hope you guys are ready. I hope you guys buckle up. Before we get started though, I did pull a couple cards and they were so on point. So the first one I pulled is from the energy deck. This is one of my favorite decks. So if you're interested in getting it, you can go on Amazon. Very straightforward. It has reversed and upright meanings, which is nice. And I pulled the energy of strength card, which is about it's about not giving your power away. And it was reversed. So being really mindful about going back into old habits, really stay focused on the things that you're doing, and do not give your power away. It's really easy to get sucked into things and get distracted. And it's really important that you stay on track and just keep going. And then the second one I took from the Keepers of Light Oracle deck. Again, you can also get it on Amazon. And I pulled Mercury. And this is really interesting because Mercury is all about open communication. It's about getting the weight off your chest, really working with the throat chakra and speaking up with love and to be heard. So I think that's interesting because right now in human design, gate 12 is active with the sun, which is all about the gate of caution. And it really talks about how being really mindful about what you're saying before saying it. So, like, for instance, I went to, well, I just was like really tired. My body was really tired this weekend. I was super exhausted and I was kind of emotional yesterday and it's really getting wrapped up in like the past or like wrapped up in things that really don't mean anything. But I was just really tired. So I was getting really emotional about it. And then I was like recording a podcast and I'm so just not in my best way that I just decided to take that podcast down. So this is why we're doing this new one, because it's all about being mindful about how you're speaking, how you're carrying yourself, and how you're approaching these conversations. And if you are feeling deeply emotional, then you should step away. Maybe you take time to yourself and do it through like your journal or really great time to make art. Like a lot of artists like to create when they have that emotional, like, that emotional wave go through your body. So that is the cards that we pulled. If you have any questions, you can always leave them in the comments on Instagram or reach out to me if you're watching this later through any of the podcast channels. Spotify, I know we're on Amazon Music and Podchasers. You can look through that. So before we go into the strategy and authority, I kind of wanted to talk about my offering that I'm offering for this week since the full moon in Capricorn is now up. It's coming through on Thursday. And with that, it's also the strawberry moon, also known as the honeymoon. So I am doing private readings for $65, either tomorrow, Thursday, or Wednesday. I only have limited spots, so you should get on that. It's a really great value. It's a really great way to help you manifest the things that you want, since the full moon in Capricorn's all about what are your plans, right? Capricorn is the workhorse. Ooh, excuse me. Just dropped that. Capricorn is the course of the zodiac. So it's a really good time to prepare what it is that you want to do and how you're going to move through this next new moon and make that shit happen. So this is a very good time to get clear. And I'm here to guide you. I will be offering in this session a human design chart reading, guidance, advising you guys, and also we can pull some cards and see how it makes you work. But I'll give you some tools and some resources to help you really get into what it is you want to do for the future. Maybe that's owning a business. Maybe that's, leveling up in your career. Maybe that's, what do you want your finances to be? It could be anything really. So take advantage of that. I will put in the comments here my website. You can go to it. And while you're here, while we're waiting, I want you guys to go ahead and look up your chart. And you can look up the chart on my website. If you look up Get Your Chart, you can go, it's free. So you can just get it up while we're listening to this podcast and listening to this live, you can have your charts up. So I'm going to go ahead and go into this, share my screen. Again, this will be on YouTube. So if you're watching this live right now, you can go onto my YouTube channel and get it ready. So share screen. Okay, so here I have the chart, the body graph. It's very plain, very basic. So if you're watching here, it's just a draw out of the bodywork graph. Now, if you go onto your chart on lauralouu.com and get your chart, it's going to look different than what I'm showing you right now. You'll have a list on the side of your chart, and it's going to tell you your energy type. It's going to tell you your strategy. And if you look down, it's going to tell your authority. So those are the main things that we're going to be doing. While I'm talking about them, I'll point to the areas of the body graph chart to show you where exactly that energy and that authority is being carried so that you can really kind of work with that. So let's get started. We are starting today with the strategies. Now, the strategy describes the best way for you to make something happen in your life. And each energy type has the strategy, a different strategy. So let's start with the manifestors. The manifestors are here to inform. Now, if you listen to the first episode, we talked a little bit about this. Manifestors are here to tell us their ideas. They're here to innovate. They're here to share their thoughts. And then we have next the generators and manifesting generators who are here to respond to their leadership, right? So the manifestors are here to inform. They're telling people basically what to do. And then we have the generators and mani-gens who are going to respond either a yes or a no. It's a hard yes or a hard no. Now, just because you're a generator or manifesting generator, you're going to notice that you're going to be taking on a lot more projects than most people, but that's because you have that sacral life force energy. Your sacral energy, if you're watching from the YouTube video, is going to be in this bottom center square right above the root. And that is your life force energy. Now, only generators, manifesting generators have this life force energy, which is why if you're a generator or mani-gen, you're going to find you're taking on a lot more projects than the non-sacral energies, which is manifestor, projector, reflectors. That's because we see your aura shows this. It's showing us that you have a lot of energy and ways to make it happen. But, I want the generators, manifesting generators to know if someone's giving you a project and you're like, that sounds awful, that's a hard no. You don't have to say yes to everything. Making sure that as a generator that you set boundaries while you're responding to these like projects. So if you're not feeling it, you don't have to do it. Someone else will feel that and they'll do it for you. So then we have the projectors. Projectors are here to advise and guide. If you are a projector, it is important for you to wait for the invitation. People will see your energy. They're going to ask you for advice. They're going to come to you. And if you just wait, I know that's really hard to do, It will come to you and you'll be able to know it's safe enough for you to give your thoughts. I'm a projector. I'm also a hard Leo, and it's really hard for me to wait. I have learned to, just step back. People will ask me when they're ready to ask me. And that was such almost like it was a pivotal moment in my life when I learned about this, because I'm like, oh my goodness, this makes so much sense. Like, I get this. I understand it now. And ever since I've stepped back, I've actually waited to like after I stepped back, I've waited and people actually came to me, and it was so gratifying to like feel that my energy is working and that people are ready to ask me and I can give them my advice and they're going to listen. So there's a reason, but yes, waiting for the invitation is huge for projectors. We are here to, usually generators, manifesting generators are going to be the ones asking you the questions because they're the ones that you're really looking at to give that guidance to. Also, reflectors will come to you a lot because they are 1% of the population. I already brought this up before. And that means that reflectors need to wait a whole lunar cycle, which is wild. So they usually have to wait like 28 days. They have no fixed energy in their body or in their body graph. So they have a really hard time understanding like what decision to make. So they really need to be around people they trust to help them and people who know them really well. All right, next up we have the authorities. So now everyone has usually a different authority. I'll go over them so you can really understand like what that means. If you go to your chart, you can look at your authority. The authority is the part that is in charge of making your life decisions. Listening to it is going to show you what is aligned, the right aligned choice for you. So this is how we make decisions, right? So this is how our body is going to navigate like how to make these decisions. It's either there's about five. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if you're looking through when this is finished recording, you're on the YouTube and you're looking at this, I will tell you which areas in the body graph have it. If you are coming on now on Instagram, go ahead, get your chart out so we can talk about this. So again, when you're looking at your chart, it's going to show you in the information on the side where in your chart is your authority. So we're going to start with the emotions. The emotional authority is in your solar plexus, which is that right triangle on the body graph. And if you have an emotional authority, it's colored in. So it's very like it's full. It's fixed energy. Sorry, I got distracted. Someone was texting me. I gotta make sure to do the do not disturb on my live. Okay, so when you are an emotional authority, it is really important to wait before making a decision. So really riding that wave of the emotion and feeling your emotions before you actually make decisions. This is not a quick decision. This is a very patient, slow decision. So if you are an emotional authority, you have to wait. So making sure that you're actually feeling your emotions. Now that's really hard to do. We have been very conditioned to just say, fuck it. Who cares about our emotions? Another fact I should tell you guys is that you never listen to your mind when making a decision. And that is conditioned from our society. That's the way to go. Actually, it's absolutely not the way to go. You're going to end up listening to your mind, and then you're going to notice that that decision that you made is going to fail. Everything is all inner authority. It's all in your body. So that emotions is all about your emotions. It's not about your mind. And you know what? You might be in your head when you're emotional. So really being mindful of that. Okay. There are waves with the emotion center. There's the source wave, which if you look at your emotions, like if you look at that triangle to the right, there's 59 to 6. That is the source wave. The wave is the source of all the waves coming out of the emotional solar plexus. This channel in itself is very powerful and is known to penetrate the aura of others, breaking through barriers, as well as being penetrated because it is so inviting. So people with this channel are either of these gates may find that people want to tell them their deepest, darkest secrets, even random strangers, and they'll never see again. So this type of wave tends to seem fairly stable until it's triggered by someone. So usually, yeah, if you're triggered, that's how you're going to make that decision. Then you have the individual wave. So the individual wave is the channel 22 to 12, and then channel 39 to 55. So if you have the individual wave, again, if you just came on live, it's channel 22 to 12 and 39 to 55. This wave is all about moodiness and melancholy. Lots of downtime because it's individual. So this wave is also, it's very passionate. When it's in the mood, it's all about the authority. You can literally fall in love with a voice. This wave moves along with short spikes, ups and downs, seems to be stable most of the time. This wave needs to know when to be social or not. It needs to follow how it feels in the moment and to know if it is good around others or not. So if you have this wave, know when to be alone to shift another part of your wave. So these are the people who have these channels and these gates that have the really high highs and the really high lows. Lots of energy going through those channels and gates, and as well as the whole entire solar plexus. And they always say people with that defined emotion center is high highs and low lows because they have so much energy running through it. And then the next one we have is the collective wave. So this wave of the emotion is channels 41 to 30 and then 36 to 35. This wave goes through a steady rise and a sharp fall. It's all about the desires and feelings, but it's all about the collective. So this wave tends to crash due to unmet expectations. So if you have this wave, be careful about attaching expectations to things. You will set up your wave to crash that way. So this is all about doing things for the experience and not for the expectations. So these people get outside, step out of your comfort zone. And again, you can see on this chart where those are in the gates and channels. All right, that's all that I have for the emotion center. The next one we have is the sacral authority. Sacral is in that sacral, that life force energy. So most of these people are generators and manifesting generators. Any non-sacral authority or non-sacral energy types do not have this. So if you're a generator or a manifesting generator, you either have emotional, splenic, or sacral authority. So your sacral is your gut. Listen to your gut. This is a quick response. If you wait, you're probably going to be pissed that you waited. So it's all about listening to what your belly's telling you. And you'll know. Like, I mean, I know I have some gut responses, but I'm more splenic. So it's actually my body telling me if I'm doing the right thing or not. Okay, next we have the spleen, which is in the spleen, which is that triangle to the left. So if it's right, it's connected to the sacral to the left. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, I'm like pointing at it right now. So splenic is also an instant response. It is all about your intuition. So I'm a splenic authority. My experience with this is all vibrations in my body. It's all like my body tells me. And it's interesting with splenics is like, if you do not listen to your authority, you will get physically ill. And I can tell you, I've had that experience. If I'm not listening to what my body's telling me, I am going to regret it later on. So it's interesting. It's almost like this urge too. It's a quick response. So if you're like feeling like you hate your job and your body's telling you that, quit your job. You're going to find another one really instantly, or you're already applying, you'll immediately get to it. A lot of authorities, a lot of splenic authorities, it's all about their intuition. So it's really important to get into your body. So moving your body, yoga, any movement practices, walk, run, whatever it is, just make sure that you're really in tune with your body. Because if you're disconnected to your physical self, it's going to make it really hard to make a decision because you're not connected. So really tapping into that and working with that mind-body connection is going to help you make a decision. Again, it's a quick response. Next, we have the sacral. So we go into sacral. Okay, so now we have mental. So mental, this one's always hard. I hate that they call it mental because it's actually environment. This is all about your environment. So not your mind. You're never listening. Again, I'm going to say it probably a billion times. Do not listen to your mind when making a decision. Your mind plays games with you. Your mind is going to make you give you the wrong decision. Mental authority is your environment. Now, only projectors have this. Oh, shoot. What did I just do? Okay. Oh, here it is. Okay. So, well, let's get into this. I just was working with a mental authority, and it's really interesting because if they're not with the right environment, they're going to have a hard time making a decision. So it's all about the people that you're around. A lot of these authorities, these mental authorities, they have like a hard time really deciding. So they need to be around people that can kind of help them. Again, projectors are mainly have this authority. There's no other authorities that really have this. So yeah, my client had this issue where she was like, I'm always indecisive, but I feel like I just need to I always ask for people advice. So these people need other people around them to help them make the decision. Mostly, again, they also need to align with the right environment. So if you're a mental authority, it's really important. Sorry, my cat just like spit up. And he's gross. Okay. So again, if you're a mental authority, just make sure you're with the right people, the right environment, feel that energy, feel if it's safe for you to actually make that decision. All right, next up we have I love this one, the self-projected projector. So again, this self-projected is only for projectors. So only the self-projected authority is for the projectors. My nephew, actually, he is a self-projected projector. And it's really important for you guys to use your voice, talk it out. And actually, the self-projectors out there, right now, this is all of those cards I pulled in the beginning and all of the in gate 12. This is a really important time for you to really listen to yourself, talk it out. And I had to tell my nephew this. If you feel something, like just say it, and then that's going to help you. And he's still like, okay, like he's 7. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on. But I'm just like, just say how you feel. It's going to help you. It's actually really nice, like knowing all this stuff and then working with my nephews and helping them thrive in life. I want to make sure they feel very authentic. Okay, so then we have next below that is the ego. So the ego is in your heart. Ego authorities are very interesting because this is what I say to ego authorities. Do what your little heart desires. If listen to your heart, that whatever you want to do, you're going to do it. You don't like just go for it. And honestly, people are going to be pretty bothered with ego authorities. I'm actually excited. I'm recording with Cosmic Design Podcast, and we have a guest on this week, and she's an ego authority, and I'm really excited to talk to her. Yeah, I'm super excited. She's also a manifester, so I'm just like so excited because they're rare. They're very rare authorities. There's like probably not that. I think it's like a single number population percentage of people who have this. And they're just a very successful people because they just do what they want and they get what they want. So I am excited to talk to her about this. Next, we have the lunar authority. So only reflectors here, only that 1% of the population has this lunar authority, which retracts because reflectors need to wait 28 days to make a decision. Their strategy is to wait, and that lunar authority is their 28 days. So I always tell like my reflectors this, like make sure you have someone who like a really strong companion with you who knows you and understands you, because like there are certain things you can't decide in 28 days. Like sometimes you need to decide right then, right there. So it's really important for these lunar authorities to be with someone that they trust and know to help them make that decision. Like you can't wait to buy a house for 28 days. You can't wait to get a puppy 28 days, right? So you need to have someone that you trust around. That's very important. And that is that. So those are your strategy and authorities. And I remember, as like I said earlier in the beginning, I am offering right now the honeymoon manifestation hour. So that is $65 for a full hour session. You get a human design reading. We pull some cards. I help you get some tools and how to really work with this full moon in Capricorn. How can you prepare for what's next? We're going to talk about your goals, your 5-year goals. We're going to get your human design chart. We're going to see how can we make things happen within this next year. It doesn't have to be 5 years. It could be this next year or then 5 years, or maybe in 3 months. Like, what do you want to do for these next couple weeks that are going to help you get to where you want to be? So again, I only have limited spots for that. You can go to my website, click book, and then go to it's right below. I made a section. You can purchase it right then and there. It's the full moon, strawberry moon HD readings. Click to that one. That's the $65 for 1 hour. Again, we go over, I pull some cards for you. We get your chart out. We look at everything. I know I've repeated myself a million times, but you can always ask me questions. You can DM me. That's about it. Feel free to, if you have worked for me before, go to heal.me and also write a review. And if you need that, I can help you guys with that, like sending you what you want. And I think that's it today. So yes, let's look at your energy type, look at your strategy, look at your authority. Merge all of those together and see what happens for you. I wish you all the best. I'm excited for the next episode and what we talk about. And until then, love and light. Bye-bye.